This guy told me, it's like, you ever had steak cake? I'm like,
What?
what's steak cake? He's like, come to my cell, right? So I go to his cell, and he cuts it up, cuts a piece, little slice. And I was like, dude, this is delicious. He was like, yeah. So what? He took 4 brownies, right?
Yeah.
Kept milk, two little cartons of milk.
Yeah.
Hit the brownies, mixed that up like a dough, took a honey bun, put that in the middle, and then rolled it over and let it sit. It was the most delicious thing I ever tasted.
Well, keep an eye on our YouTube show.
Absolutely.
We're going to make, what's it called?
Steak cake.
We're making one of those. Are you kidding me? Will you come over and we can make it and then we can have
Oh
it?
my God, yeah.
We gotta be in jumpsuits.
Yeah. Listen, I'll get us all costumes for jumpsuits, and then you can tell us. We'll each make one, and then you're the only one that's had it. You tell us, do we? Which one gets closer?
We could do it like beat Bobby Flay or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I really like the way the acidity hits the.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Is that how you would sit naturally?
Yeah, I mean, I'll switch up.
Well, you sit how you would sit naturally.
She's like, I don't believe you. She's like, I don't believe the way you're sitting is natural.
Exactly.
It's like, all right, let me get some heroin. Just like,
Your
Just
natural
naturally,
state.
okay.
That's what the cops were looking for. You know what I
my
mean?
God.
Don't say that.
I know.
This is how you get a reputation.
God, and then I felt like they had a GPS on my truck. Because they came by.
Apple tag at least.
This is the hilarious part. They came by and were like, hey, man, we're going to let you know when we're going to put a warrant out. It's not going to be sometime next week. Like, let's have breakfast next week.
So they were really trying to get you to flip on somebody, huh?
So I didn't. So that's
like
when
an
they
episode
were
of
like,
Narcos,
so we'll just put a warrant out. And then you
no.
can turn yourself in. So it was like I drove myself to jail.
I hate
Went
that.
in the morning, and then by the afternoon, got in my car and drove home.
Oh, you only had to stay for the afternoon?
No, just till my friend bailed me out.
Okay, so you didn't have to stay overnight.
No.
Okay, because
I was in there long enough. I was mad because they dressed me out, and I'm like, shit.
Oh, that would make me feel. It's very dehumanizing, I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to jail before.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my God, I forgot how much I hated this shit. But also great for material.
I can imagine if you're
my
not
God.
horribly traumatized by it. My sister, she went one time and she described in graphic detail what happened to her. And I was traumatized by what she described to me. I was like, oh my God, jail is the worst. Jail is a terrible place. You should never go there if you can help it. Like,
What did you
oh,
say?
shit.
It's not as what?
It's not what?
It's just like, man, yeah.
I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
It sounds bad.
I,
Like just the
We don't
idea of
recommend
getting
it.
dressed out like
Somebody-
what you're talking about, like this sounds very dehumanizing.
Somebody, I think the only part I hated was being in shackles in front of my mom.
I hate
Oh,
that.
shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck,
Yeah,
I
that made
hate
me
that.
cry right now.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? That was the
God
only thing that I
dang.
was like, other than that, like, if it wasn't for me going to jail, I don't think I would have started comedy.
What?
No
Really?
shit. Okay.
Not that quick.
On that note, can we talk about that?
Yeah, welcome
absolutely.
to the show. The Manly Girly show. It's all about you. And we usually ask, we have Emily on the audience today, like how people started comedy or what made them start doing comedy or inspire them. So welcome to the show, Mike. How long
you
have
for
you been doing
having me.
comedy for? About
20 years now.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
Veteran.
Yeah, and we recently moved to the area. I moved within like the last couple of years, and you within the last year, right? Like, and I moved from Austin. She moved from Oklahoma.
Okay.
And I'm an open micer. She's much funnier than I am, but she doesn't do comedy.
I'm a personality.
And so we got really,
I definitely feel it.
we love North Carolina. Are you from North Carolina?
Pretty much. I'm originally from Northern Virginia,
Okay.
like Fairfax, Arlington.
So in the area, roughly, within
Yeah,
a
but
few
I've
hours.
been here most
Same.
of my life. Yeah, same East Coast.
Yeah, and there's something so special and beautiful. Like it seems like like the people here are very nice. It kind of reminds me of Pawnee and Parks and Rec. Like people are really like like there's with all the characters and
All the fat children.
yeah. And so you've been doing it for 20 years. What got you started, man?
Well, I always wanted to do it, and I had it's funny when he grew up. Me and my buddy were talking about this. When I grew up, like you think of something funny, but oh, it's gonna kill tomorrow at school.
Yeah.
So I would always think of stuff, but it's just to hide what was going on at home. My mom was an alcoholic, so it's like, oh, I'm happy all the time.
Yeah.
So it was more like that, but then like started doing it. Did a couple of sketches with friends at talent shows and stuff, but never had the balls to just get up and do it
In front of a crowd.
in front of a crowd until I was like 30. And this is all because I went to jail. So I went to jail, yeah. And
I hate that.
I mean,
That sucks.
it kind of does, but also it's like, like I knew I was going to get out eventually.
Okay.
But first experience, it was like, all right, puff up a little bit, chest out.
Okay.
At what point does it like really like? Is there a point where it's like sinks in where you're like, like from the moment or whatever? Right? Like at what point it's like, or when does that cross? Like, oh shit! Like
I'm gonna have
when
to
does
go to
reality
jail.
set in?
Oh, as soon as I got upstairs in the pod. So as soon as I walk in, I think one of the first jokes is about this, but as soon as I walk in, the biggest guy up in the place walks up to me. I got like a mattress, my blanket. He's like, "What's up?" I'm like, "What's up, man?" He's like, "You smoke?" I was like, "Yeah, they got my cigarettes, man." He's like, "That's all good. I got cigarettes. What you gonna do for it?" And I like balled up my fist. And I was like, damn, I gotta do this already.
Yeah.
Already?
I might just hit him in the throat. And he looked down, saw my fist balled up. He's like, no, brother, your breakfast tray. Let me get your breakfast tray. And I'm like, oh, what we having? You know what I'm saying? Depends what we having.
He's like, you're not my type.
Yeah, man, settle down. You ain't all that. But,
thank goodness. Oh, thank
You're
goodness.
like, everybody wants a piece of this snack.
But I was ready to
Yeah,
swing,
yeah.
I'm like thinking like, you can't be no punk.
Yeah.
So the first guy that's gonna test me, I gotta knock his ass out.
Yeah, I do remember, and I remember seeing because I've seen your name like posted on shows and flyers and whatnot, but I don't know if I've seen you yet until we saw you at the Sinful Six.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But I do, maybe I have seen you before because I think you're
I've
not
never seen
particularly a
you
dirty
before.
comic usually, right?
I mean,
You go there, but
Yeah, I can go there, but I don't know. I think in my mind I'm still dirty, but I just evolved from when I first started.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But in my mind, I still feel like I'm dirty, but I just
Yeah.
use my words better.
Yeah.
More
You're just talking about
targeted.
shit,
Yeah.
piss, you
Yeah.
know,
Like,
yeah.
I want
fucks.
everyone to enjoy. I don't want to be like
Yeah.
fucking pussy ass Nick. No,
Yeah,
motherfucker,
yeah.
Because that was me when you're nervous. You use
Yeah,
fucking and shit and damn
Yeah,
fucking.
I use
you
I use I use a lot. Hey,
You know? Oh man! So I looked at this old tape, and it looked like I did an 8-ball. So when I get nervous, I feel my nose hairs,
Yeah, okay.
and so like it feels like booger's gonna shoot out, but actually I'm loosening it up because I'm like this,
And so you're
and
making
I'm
the
like, you know
problem
what
worse.
I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And it's like you ain't said nothing, but I was so nervous. Just that was me. You know what I'm saying?
Look like a cocaine.
Yeah, it's like, dude, this dude is
Tweaking.
fucking, you know.
What is wrong with you?
But it's just, I just didn't want to.
with him.
I always feel like a booger's gonna shoot out, and you see everyone's eye do that dip,
Yeah.
you know, and they be like, "Oh, they saw that booger." But that was my
You're just
mindset.
paranoia.
Paranoia.
Yeah. That's so funny.
If you were in Florida, according to Kristen, you could have been surrounded by ladies if they thought that you had some cocaine.
Oh yeah. Oh,
fair,
absolutely.
yeah.
You know, they say, yeah.
Florida
Right, no,
bitches
this is
love
creamer.
cocaine.
This is creamer. I just,
Creamer.
I just like to toss it in and then drink the
Hey,
coffee.
would you just chill on that? You got some pending.
Yeah, right.
But you were
These are
hilarious,
jokes.
man. Right? Like, and I do remember kind of like that joke, you know, like, and so you started getting in there, and you started like, is that the moment that prompted you to start doing comedy, or is it like,
So
While you were
I
in
was,
there, yeah.
I was in there for
Yeah.
a week,
yeah,
about a
Long
week and
time.
a half. It is, especially when the walls start closing in.
Oh,
And I'm just like, man, this is terrible. Like, I ain't had no cigarette. And then some dude came in who was just coming through. He smoked. And then they got pissed and locked everyone down. So we were locked up 23 hours.
oh shit,
And
it's
so that was
terrible.
like
For how long?
23 hours. You get out,
Oh,
you eat.
so just one
One
20
whole-
one whole
yeah.
day.
Sometimes two, depending on how bad shit gets.
And
But I
there's-
was lucky.
and like, there's nothing that you can like. What is there to do in those 23 hours? What are you doing?
Man, read
Okay,
cards.
Hope you,
know,
have
but,
reading
you just-
material and cards.
you're like, thank you everybody for coming out tonight. You know?
Yeah, oh shit. So like, I'm gonna tell you. So when I first got there, so I didn't even have I had to sleep on the floor with a mat, right? And this dude's like, "Hey, lean up real quick." So I was like, "All right." This dude took a battery, some aluminum foil, and an outlet, and lit a cigarette. I'm like, "Look, MacGyver, just blow a hole in this wall and get us out."
yeah.
Like, did you just do that? Like, there were some geniuses.
yeah.
Have you seen the TikTok about the guy who cooks in prison? And he
Yeah.
has all these. Yeah, it's so cool. Like
There's real
I mean,
chefs.
it is. Yeah, it's amazing the things that he accomplishes. I mean, I'm horrified that it's like it's a
How
very
the two gun is
dehumanizing,
made,
but-
right? With like
Yeah, he's got the light.
pan and then the rubber band or whatever, and then the stick and poke, you know.
Oh, the tattoos.
yeah.
Oh,
This
no.
guy
I
told
mean,
me-
I'd rather see him cook eggs. No.
This guy told me, it's like, you ever had steak cake? I'm like, what's
What?
steak cake? He's like, come to my cell, right? So I go to his cell, and he cuts it up, cuts a piece, little slice. And I was like, dude, this is delicious. He was like, yeah. So what? He took 4 brownies, right?
Yeah.
Kept milk, two little cartons of milk.
Yeah.
Hit the brownies, mixed that up like a
Okay.
dough, took a honey bun, put that in the middle, and rolled it over and let it sit. It was the most delicious thing
You
I ever
know,
tasted.
well, keep an eye on our YouTube
Absolutely.
channel. We're gonna make what's it called?
Steak cake.
We're making
Steak
one of
egg, we're
those. Are you
making
kidding me?
It
Will you
was
come over?
amazing.
We can make it, and then
Oh
we
my
can
God.
have
Oh
it.
my god, yeah.
We gotta be in jumpsuits.
Yeah.
When
Oh,
we-
listen, I'll get us all costumes for jumpsuits, and then you can tell us. We'll each make one, and
All right.
then you're the only one that's had it. And you tell us, do we? Which one gets closer?
We could do it
who's got the touch?
beat Bobby Flay or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
But I really like the way the acidity hits the,
Yeah. And then whichever one's the best, we blaze up, and then eat the whole.
the ramen reduction on it was delicious.
So my brother, he went to jail.
Oh, yeah?
I used to go visit him like pretty much every day that I could. If they weren't in lockdown, I was there because I actually worked downtown. So it was really like the jail was on my way home.
Yeah.
So it was very convenient. I know. Yeah, it was really convenient, but it was really inconvenient because I learned all the rules that you have to follow when you go visit somebody in jail, and I broke a lot of them at first, and they would turn me away at the door, and they wouldn't let me go see him that day. Like,
wow.
yeah, like I just learned there are a lot of rules, and it's a terrible place. I felt really terrible every
It
time I would
sucks.
see him in there, but I would send him postcards, and I found some that were Where's Waldo postcards. So it's like, it was interesting, and he could read a letter from me, and then on the back, he could do an activity. And you know what he said? He
What is
traded
it?
them for ramen.
Hey, ramen's high price.
I know. He
Honey
said,
buns,
Yes.
ramen.
Oh my god, honey buns! I used to eat honey buns in high school, man. Like that was the shit.
The trade game was crazy. It was like stock market.
Yeah.
It kind
that's
of
what
like
he said.
it's almost like a basic training that you don't get out of. Like it's like you're in barracks. Or,
Is that what it feels like? Have you ever been in the military?
No, my dad taught me out of it.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, I probably would have been, because it was like I graduated in '91, so I would have been in a Gulf War.
Ooh.
I would have went.
Well, I was in it for 5 months only, but I would have been in the Iraq war because I signed up 2003 or 4. So it was like a little bit after September 11th. But
Oh, you definitely been over.
I wiggled myself out of it.
Yeah.
It was still one of the best experiences I've ever had. I spent 5 months in there. They almost court-martialed me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's like I made like a lot of progress in there. I was in ROTC for 4 years in high school, but then it became kind of like a big stoner, and then I was like, well, I already know all the ranks, in the Army, so I got a pretty good ASVAB score, but I'm like, I don't want to learn all the fucking Air Force the ranks and whatnot. So I joined the Army. And then, like, I sobered up, and I'm like, I don't even believe in this fucking war,
Like, I'm out.
Somebody get me out of here.
Said, thank God I sobered up. I would have been
Listen,
knee deep in this.
there were all these people like that they let them get out, for like failure to adapt because they said, oh, I'm depressed, I don't know, I might kill myself or whatever. In my mind, I'm like, I wouldn't let you the fuck out if it's my call. That's why you're in the Army.
Yeah.
You gotta get mental fortitude. So I'm like, how do you get out of here, Arturo? How do you get out of here? And I'm like, well, if I find it immoral to kill people, allegedly, by the way, this is all for entertainment purposes.
Entertainment.
And I'm supposed to be in a position to kill people, then, ipso facto, I can't be in the Army. But I had only been moved finally to the country. Like, I was only here for like 6 years. So I guess a little trickier of the word. I'd never heard of the term conscientious objector. Have you ever heard of this term?
No.
Have either of you? Conscientious
No.
objector? Emily, what does a conscientious objector mean? So,
It's where you don't believe in war, right?
Yeah.
Like, this He believes that.
Something like that. Yes. But they're like, okay, so you believe that it's immoral to kill? Not you. Whether I believe it or not is besides the point, right? But I was like, this would get you out. They're like, okay, yeah, no problem. So that means that you always feel this way. I'm like, yeah, I don't believe that. So that makes you a conscious objector. That's what that means, right? I'm like, I guess so. Okay, well, you signed a contract saying that you were not a conscientious objector when you joined the fucking military.
Oh man!
So they're like,
I just signed.
Like, gotcha, bitch.
I know, right?
Like,
My dude, I just where the X was.
yeah.
all I
Exactly. You know, because
It's like the Apple contract. Does
Yeah.
anybody read that? Terms
no,
of service?
the
What?
military. That's why they prey on impoverished cultures and minorities, right? It's like always like So they were mad at me, and that's why they kept me for a little longer. They kept trying to crack me, kind of like you people like trying
Drink
to turn
the
you, right?
Kool-Aid.
The cops that were trying to like tell you because basic training only lasts 12 weeks. It lasts 3 months, but then they kept me behind, right? While all my former quote unquote brothers, right, like had graduated, and they had me like doing jobs around the base, and they're like, oh, okay, like kind of trying to change my mind, until, so that I could acquiesce. Oh, you know what? We're going to see if the general of the base decides to court-martial you or let chapter you out. Everybody that said, I'm depressed, they fucking got out fucking right at the end. Like, I stayed for 2 extra fucking months
'cause you
for
were
my idea of like being like, oh, well, they're not going to let these sports sons of bitches out. And they try to turn me,
They
Wow.
tried to
Different
turn
way.
you.
Yeah, COs are dicks.
Oh, I remember the day before, like, I guess to start getting transferred out because new class coming in, back to the money, right? Like, we don't have space. We can't keep paying for you, right? I remember Drill Sergeant Schneider. He's like,
Fuck that guy.
He's like, oh, by the way, he's like, something leaving. He's like, if I ever see you on the side of the road and you need help, I may not stop, And it's like, I'm a fucking 19-year-old kid or a young man at this point. I'm like, such a fucking asshole, like. But
Yeah. Well,
They just
whatever.
gotta give you that one last.
Yeah, that one last little, like.
So jail's not like the army, huh? You're like,
I
no,
mean-
it's not.
So like, I was in there and my brother bailed me out, right?
Yeah.
And my older brother Robert, he's like a second dad. There's 5
He's
boys.
much older than you.
I'm the youngest of 8. There's
okay.
like 5 boys, 3 girls.
I have 7
We're
brothers
5
and
and
sisters.
you're 7
5
and
brothers,
5,
2
8.
sisters.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
See, all right, there you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wait. So you're the 5th?
I'm the 8th.
You're the 8th? Oh, you're the baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I don't know if we can be friends, man.
Hey,
Like, the babies
I
of
was
the
the
big family.
accident.
They always are.
There's a set of twins, and then 5 years later, I came
Oh, get out.
on my dad's
Oh,
birthday.
wow.
Oh, get out.
My dad
That's
was probably
amazing.
like, I'm sure he's drinking. And he's like, please tell me you meant the water heater, bro. Please tell me you meant the water heater. She said, nope. But she said,
Ta-da.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was counting how many years.
My-
He's like, okay, so I have this many years.
Yeah, he's like,
And she's like, oh.
My mom went to an appointment to have her tubes tied, and they were like, "I'm sorry, ma'am, we can't do that today because pregnant."
oh, really?
Yes. My dad was so mad.
He's like,
He stayed mad though. He had a lot of kids. He stayed mad.
dads stay mad
They
with
stay
all those
mad.
kids. She had no
Yes.
choice. But
What are you
yeah.
gonna do? Anyway,
So Robert bailed,
he bailed
me
you out.
And I remember we went to McDonald's. And by this time, I'm like, man, I'm going to do comedy, man. Just because, like, if I can survive this,
Yeah.
because, like,
Yes.
this sucks. I was, like, bombing in his bag because I saw a dude bomb
I
at
love
a
that.
mic.
You saw a dude bombing a mic bad.
And, yeah, like, sold out at Goodnights. This was way before I started. And I never heard such a loud silence.
Yes.
And then you see the tears, and I felt bad. So I gave him a little, I swear to God, this guy 2 chairs down went, like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't know the rules. And I just was like, I felt every bit of pain in this dude's eyes.
How did he sell out at Goodnights? I don't understand.
No, it was open mic. Like, he used to sell out, like,
I see.
back
Okay.
then. It used to be like Taco Tuesdays or something.
That's so cool. So he
But-
went to an open mic and he bombed so bad.
I was like,
Did he pee a little? Like, was there?
I bet he wished he did. We would have started laughing. He's like, damn, I should have closed on
terrible.
that. That's
I mean,
how bad it
the
was.
sound, the
So
deafening
after-
silence, you know?
You saw that, and then years later, you're like, I'd love to do that.
Yeah, because after going to jail.
Yeah, okay. See that you're like, I had nothing left to lose. Because,
Yeah, I'm like, all right.
I mean, I could see that because you're like, I've experienced.
I'm around. This dude pretty much murdered somebody. This dude definitely diddled somebody. You know, you just going around picking them out.
Did you tell jokes in there? Like, did you hone any jokes in while you were in
I
there?
mean, I was just tripping out with people.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I wouldn't really,
Pocketing material, probably.
I mean, I was just taking it all in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would
You
have
know.
to. I mean, you would have to experience the thing that you were going to experience because it's like, what else are you going to do?
I'm like, dude, I am in freaking jail. Like, the pod
Yes,
across
that's so
from us was
insane.
wild. So, look,
yeah.
quick side note. So, this dude was in there, had just murdered somebody at my boy's house, but he was in the pod across from mine. Thank God.
Thank goodness.
But them dudes were fighting because they're a bunch of young kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're just trying to test each other and all that.
That'll happen.
They think it's cool to go to jail.
Oh yeah, but
It
they're
is
fighting
not
gangs and all
cool
that shit.
to
So
go to
we're just
jail.
across like, yup, they're dragging someone else out. But anyway, so boom. My brother takes me to McDonald's
Yeah.
and he's like, what are you gonna do with your life? You know, like he was so disappointed. He
I was
didn't
going
know
to say
why.
he's shaming you a little bit.
He was just like, why the fuck you end up in jail?
Okay,
You know,
all right,
because he
fair.
didn't know what the true story is.
All right. He's your brother. He's trying to
Yeah.
look out for you.
Yeah.
He loves you.
And like I said, second dad, he's like, why did, you
Yeah.
know, he's like, what are you going to do with your life? And I was like, well, I was thinking, it's like, I don't even want to hear it. And he just gives me a napkin and a piece of pen and a pencil. He's like, write it down. So I wrote it down, he folded it up, put it in his pocket. And then like 3 years after I was started comedy, he came to a show and gave me that napkin. And I didn't know what it was. And I opened it up and I was like, man, why you trying to do that shit before a show, man? Damn you, man. Y'all was trying to mess my shows up.
Dang.
No, I didn't. I wanted to, but I was like, man, I gotta do a show, motherfucker. I can't even react to
I
this.
would cry. I would cry as soon as I saw it. Probably like I want to cry right now. Your
Do you think
brother.
it was the
What
same-
would have been
What
messed
a
up? I would have taken it and be like,
special-
oh, thanks. This guy. He's right here. Thanks.
Do you
Throw that
think it
away.
was the same napkin, or do you think he just like, you
No,
know,
he kept
rewrote
it.
it?
He never looked at it. He said he never looked at it.
Do you know
some-
Arturo showed me something very sweet because I love that. I love that story. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I lost it actually. I think what you were mentioning because I don't know where it is anymore.
Oh my gosh. So you showed me something very sweet earlier that he was thinking of giving to his brother. It was a poker chip from a time that he and his brother and his dad were all together, which is like special because his dad lives in Peru. So, you know.
Well, my dad died like a couple of years ago, so you know, but he lived in Peru, and we went on a cruise, you know, and you know, it's like 19 years ago or whatever, you know. But my brother, you know, he's got a good job, makes good money, right? Like, and I've had this, reminds me of him, right? I think it'd be a nice present, you know, like.
I mean, I was incredibly touched that you kept
That was
it. It's
dope.
very
As long
sweet.
as he appreciates it, otherwise he's gonna be like, "Give me that fucking token."
Exactly. Like you
I'll
blowing your
keep
nose.
it. Yeah, like,
Where's that napkin? Did you frame it?
No, I gave it back to him.
Okay.
He's like, no, that's mine.
Safekeeping.
Yeah, he says, so when you make money, I'm going to sell this on eBay.
Absolutely he is. That's what a dad does.
Yeah. But no, that was cool though. But yeah, because I went to jail, I was like, you know what? I'm not afraid of bombing. Bombing doesn't seem
That's
as
great.
bad. Because the way that dude looked, I'm like, you ain't put me up there like that. You ain't about to have me look like I'm about to cry.
Absolutely, yeah.
Even though sometimes I wanted to, but but now I'm used to
You
it. It
did
still
great
hurt.
the other day. Like I was very surprised at a lot of your jokes because when you first came up there, like I'd never seen you before. So yeah.
Yeah, so I
Big
like
surprise.
shows like that because I get to get jokey, you know. Like,
Yeah, I can see
I
that.
have to tell because I like telling stories, but I like to joke around and just do jokes, you know.
It was very funny. I was very
Thank you.
surprised.
I
I was like,
appreciate it.
oh, this guy is going to be real square for up here. You said you were going to, and I was like, okay. You know, we've been to a lot of open mics,
Mm-hmm.
man. You know, some people do not do well.
Yeah.
But then it's interesting to me because I've seen people like a year ago that I've seen bomb horribly that have recently made me laugh out loud, like to the point of like tears streaming. Like they have really come a long way. I'm just so impressed that.
Yeah, that's the scary thing about comedy is like you have to do it in front of people.
Yes.
I mean, you can't do it in the mirror and be like, oh, they're gonna look. No, it's got to be done in front of people.
Vulnerable.
First thought to the last thought. Like,
So the first time that you went, was it good or was it bad?
So the first time I went, you had to audition at Goodnights.
Oh, you went at Goodnights.
Yeah, that was my first.
You're so crazy.
So went there, and it was crazy because there's like probably like 20-something comedians.
Okay.
You know, like a 2-minute audition.
Yeah.
And nobody would laugh because they wanted your spot. Because there was only like 15
You had
spots.
to perform in front of other comics?
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah.
Unless they're your friends and like there's some camaraderie there, that's no. You're
I didn't really know anybody, but I remember this one guy went, and I was like,
That's a laugh.
I'm gonna count.
Put
that.
me on the set.
But it's funny. So didn't make it the first time. The lady who was running it,
How did it feel auditioning?
terrifying.
Oh,
but
okay,
I
yeah.
did it. And
Yeah.
the girl I was dating, and she was like, "That's some bullshit. You funny." And then I was like, "You didn't even see anybody." I was like, "It's all good. Like,
Yeah.
I feel good about it."
Yeah.
She said it was good. Just come back. The list was full. So it's funny because the lady who was running it then turned out to be best friends with my mom at work,
What?
and my mom was like,
Nepotism.
"Right? No,
Nipple
but she
baby,
was.
you know?
She put me up, but she was the hardest on me."
Really?
Yeah.
She has to be because it's her reputation tied to yours now. Yeah.
But
I
she was
hear that.
teaching me the ropes, you know. Like I
Hell
remember
yeah.
start feeling it, you know, feeling yourself, run the light, but I ain't see it because I'm feeling myself. And she was like, "Oh my God, you're funny. Buy a fucking watch." And I was like, then she wouldn't put me up. But then she's the reason why I'm like,
Do you
I'm
know
on
what?
time.
Thank goodness for a teacher like
No,
that.
yeah,
There's plenty of situations now as an older person that I realize that a lot of adults in my life really helped me.
Do you
By
consider
teaching
yourself
me
an
those
older
lessons?
person? You consider yourself an older
I'm not
person?
saying an older person, but maybe a person who is having a lot of, huh?
just experience.
Absolutely, yeah. To
Yeah.
this point where I'm like, oh shit, I didn't realize I was learning something in that moment, and now that this has bettered me
Yeah.
in the future.
Well, I
Wow.
was very lucky
Yeah.
to be around some really mean, caring people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
they would just be honest,
Yeah,
and I appreciated that.
that's fair. Yeah.
You know, because they didn't gloss over anything. Like, "Oh, good job." They would be like, "Really? All right, that's." You know, you're like,
Yes.
"Ouch, man, Jesus!" I thought,
Well, but they have also got something to compare it to. They've seen
Yeah.
a lot of comics, and they know. I mean,
Exactly.
arguably, what's funny.
I
Right?
mean,
I took their stuff all the time. Like it would be like I remember a whole bunch of people. I did this one joke, and I was roommates with Joe Perot, and this joke was so bad, it was corny, but I had to do it, you know. And him and 3 other comics came up, and he goes, "Yeah, Mello, I'm gonna need those keys." I was like, "What?" He goes, "I'm gonna need the keys to the apartment." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "After that joke, you got to move the hell out, man." I was like, for real, it's like, "Give me the keys."
Damn.
I was like, "You know what?
Okay.
That was a pretty bad."
what
joke.
would you say? Would you say that? What would you say is more effective, or has been more effective on you, positive or negative reinforcement?
Negative, definitely.
Right? Like, yeah. I need.
Because positive now, especially like I feel like people are just cheesing me, and I don't trust you. I'm too insecure to believe that.
I could see
Yeah.
that.
But you give me some negative, I'll be like, I believe that.
You know, trust is difficult. You know, like I myself don't trust anybody until we've either had a beer or smoked together. Because I want to see you. Are you performing?
might be a
are
narc,
are you
you know?
being like I've met so many people that are almost like performing through life. And it's like I want to see your clear reactions. Like when Emily, we show her some horrible shit. And she's like, "God, another white male." Well, you didn't expect that.
Emotionless expression. She's cold-blooded. Let me tell you
she
that,
meant
Emily.
that shit.
And let me see, and let me ask you if this is the type of so for example, right? Like I'm like 20 or 30 pounds overweight right now, right? But guess what? Positive reinforcement for me to go to the gym doesn't really work that well. But let me tell you, and you said you like the negative reinforcement. Tell me on a range of 1 to 5, how 5 being the highest, how this ranks as motivation to go to the gym or workout. Okay, let me see what you think. This is one of our new favorite guys. Let me see if you can see him.
Jesus.
Go to the fucking gym. Go to the fucking gym. Yeah, you. Go to the fucking gym. I see you. And you need to go to the fucking gym. Go to...
Oh, there's another one.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Ve al puto gimnasio. Ve al puto gimnasio. Good morning.
Smash, right?
What's your name? Oh, that's a very lovely name.
Man,
Unfortunately,
he can't have Bo Derek hair and tell me to go to the gym.
I know you have a name.
I mean, he got Bo Derek hair like, right after she took the beads out. I'm like, dude, I'm not. You care way too much about your hair.
Papa Swolio.
Yeah, Papa Swolio.
Poppy Swolio.
Oh, Poppy Spolio?
Yeah, his name is Papa Swolio. I feel pretty sure that he does them in
You know how much
Spanish
muscle you're
as well.
sacrificing by being here? Just scrolling, go to sleep. You should not be awake right now. Go to sleep. You want me to put you to sleep? You want me to tuck you in? Yeah, you want me to? Yeah.
Take it easy there.
You know how much muscle you're
Like-
sacrificing by being here?
Do you guys think that he'd be?
What's one plus
he's one of those people who has like a really weak chin, and that's why they grow a beard.
I bet his
Like he
his
looks
chin
like a
is tiny
baby,
and people
yeah.
just laugh at him.
Exactly.
So he grew that beard out. Like
He's like, I'm gonna go to the gym, and then nobody will laugh at
and
me.
then as soon as he shaves the beard out, it's like, gee, you guys are crazy, man. You know? Just everything's just tiny. It's just sunk in, you know.
And his wiener's all shrunk up from the steroids.
So, Mike,
Wow.
so you,
Sorry.
what is it? You've been doing comedy for 20 years, right? You see a lot of comics that, maybe you did it for a little while and they stop it, right? What is it about comedy that does it for you? What does it do for you? How does it make you feel? What is it that you get out of it that you've been doing it for such a long time?
Honestly, I don't even know why. No,
You're like-
it's a definite addiction now. Because I quit, and then someone will be like, I got 5 minutes. Like, ooh, can I get that 5? You know?
Yeah.
But I just enjoy it, man. When I started, it's crazy because it's something I always wanted to do. Just didn't have the guts to do it until when I did it.
I know that feeling, yeah.
But I just love it, man. The rawness of it, the travel, the meeting people, seeing people mad now doesn't bother me as much.
Yeah.
Like there's a guy last night. I was in Tarboro, which scared me.
I was gonna say I don't even know where that is.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool spot, really cool spot. And this guy's just up front, just
Mean mugging.
he was looking straight ahead. Like I'm over here. He's just.
What's wrong with him?
He was drunk but very country, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if he like black people, because I did a joke about Cary. They say Cary stands for Containment Area for Relocated Yankees.
Oh,
But I was
okay.
like, me being the only black family in Cary, I think it stands for Crackers All Around You.
Yeah.
And people laugh, but he's just like,
I've noticed
he
that,
looked like he was steaming. I was like, ooh, he might not like us.
I've
But-
noticed that there's sometimes with racial humor, and I did this joke a little bit at Zogs. It's like you almost got to warm them up first, right? Like I have
and
this
Chapel
joke.
Hill's different.
Oh, Chapel Hill.
They don't
it's-
like it.
They don't like it because I had
They
a joke.
either feel too guilty
Yeah.
or don't want to admit it.
Yeah, because I have this joke about because I just moved recently, right? About how Durham's a little bit more progressive, a little more diverse than Raleigh. And Chapel Hill, as far as I can tell, is for people that think that Raleigh is way too ethnic, and I think it's a funny joke, but they were like crickets, and I'm like, okay, let me make fun of myself some more.
No, I go in anytime I'm out there and I feel that, I go in harder.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh really?
Very cool.
Y'all can't lighten up.
Yeah,
These
I
are
can see
jokes,
that.
and they're like, no. So I would do the most. Probably, I have some bad jokes to make them be like,
When you're trying to make somebody uncomfortable.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because once you're like, oh really, that was lighthearted, and y'all can't take that, then you're definitely not.
Makes you mad.
Sometimes I feel sadistic. And be like, you know what? I'm not gonna be back here.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to invite me back. Watch me blow up this whole room. I
Yeah.
can see that, yeah.
But no, I try to leave. I want everyone to be happy.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I just, I've been very lucky and fortunate to work with some great people.
Yeah.
And it's just fun, man. My girl hates it because she's like, is this all you think about? I'm like, yeah.
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 No, like, Andy's like, are you going to bet I'm like, there's all this stuff in the pipeline that, I need that sometimes just to sit around and think, like late into the night, like when it's quiet, just let it, like come to you. No, that makes sense, man. Thank you for that insight.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question. Now that you mentioned this guy, what if he sounded like he was not into it? But how would you handle a guy that was coming aggro at you like this? Would you react like this guy is reacting? I'm gonna show you another video.
Okay.
This is one of our favorites. This is the Fed Smoker. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
The who?
The Fed Smoker.
Okay.
But here.
Hey, brother, I'm on record for a moment. What is this place, anyways? What is this place?
You don't need to film me.
Oh, I'm doing a documentary. Listen here.
I don't care. I don't want to be
This
filmed.
is America, you dumb son of a bitch, okay?
You dumb son of a bitch. I'm a private person, and I
I'm
don't want
a
to be filmed,
fucking
so fuck
American,
your
you
goddamn film.
stupid fuck. I
Fuck
can
your
ask you
fucking
anything
film.
I
Fuck your
want.
film, and I can tell you no
You're
anytime
getting
I
a
want.
fucking baby raper on your face, okay,
You want a baby
cocksucker?
raper? You're the one who looks like a baby raper.
Baby raper,
Would you
Chomo.
escape from jail?
What's
Would
up
you
there,
escape from
Chomo?
jail?
Listen here. What do you guys? How do you get
Good
a job
bust.
here, fuckface?
Well, not by talking like that.
Oh, you know what? You're fired, bud.
No,
I like one of these things of this video. Pause it real quick. That I love is I love how aggro he gets immediately. He's like, don't film me. I'm a private person. He's like, I can do whatever I want. You dumb son of a
Yeah,
bitch.
just
You know,
turns
like,
it on.
immediately, right on.
Just turns it on. It's like, hey, how you doing? Go fuck yourself. Like, Jesus
exactly.
Christ.
Dang.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I watch these videos a lot.
I love him.
And they're just like, I can do it, yeah. And I'm like, dude, you just asking for it.
Yeah,
Of course,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
thinking black, and I'm like, ooh, you about to get that ass beat. But they never do.
Exactly. They never do.
They never do. I'm like, duck, run, you stupid.
Absolutely. And this, you'll appreciate it. I'll show you one with this because this is a security guard, but this guy doesn't give a fuck about the cops either. You'll fuck with him.
You're talking to
Lift your
me.
teeth
I'm
a
a
little more,
fucking
tough guy.
American,
Put
you
your tough-
fuck.
Come on, tough guy.
You don't
Grit your
touch my
teeth.
camera through the
Grit your
fence,
teeth,
you
tough guy. Come
faggot.
on, grit your teeth.
I'm gonna talk to the sheriff's department about you, buddy. Okay?
Go get him. Go get him.
And I'm gonna see.
Go get 'em.
Well, they're gonna watch it on the internet.
Go get him.
Well, how do you get a job here?
Not by
Tough
talking like
boy.
you. Not by talking
Are
like
you
you.
like what? You guys the ones all scared of the camera? Look at you. Look at you. You know what? You're fired. Okay? You didn't follow proto. How do you get a job here?
You know what
You're-
protocol is?
Yeah, I take cops' badges all the time doing it. You know who you're talking to? A retired double agent there, you fucking
Talking to a
retard.
man who's lost
You're
from the
talking to a
insane
man that
asylum.
just ruined your fucking life,
You just
okay?
lost from the insane asylum,
You
buddy.
just lost your life, okay, as far as your
This dude's
job
like, I gotta
goes.
go home and
My
beat
life.
kids. You
told-
think I'm
took
scared of
your
you?
job.
Threatening my fucking life?
Job, bitch.
That's not what you said, asshole.
Well, we're
Well,
changing-
somebody put it out that he's got this clicker to this fucking door the entire time. This
The
guy
gate?
can open.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got it right there in his hand.
Job,
does?
because you're taking it out
Yeah,
of
yeah,
context.
here, look,
there.
he's gonna
What's
shake
your
it
name,
at him.
anyway, bitch?
That's not what you said, asshole.
Oh, he
Yeah,
does.
Yeah, he
Job.
can just open that fence and just let nature take its course.
It's like those cats when they do that.
Yes.
Move away. And it's like,
That's
Chilling.
exactly what it's like. Open the gate.
that is crazy,
I want them
man.
to fight or to have sex or something because, like, the intimate way that they're just like fingers through the fence, I'm like, what is happening here?
Yeah, it's
Are you
the
guys in
weirdest.
love?
Yeah.
just-
When people get hyped, they do the dumbest things.
Yeah.
Just, oh, I'm gonna get that. You can't open up the gate and get it. He's gonna
Well,
try to
and-
fit his baby hands.
Exactly, but not only that, but I'd be scared somebody would grab my fingers. You don't know that crazy man. He's
He
on
just
meth.
snap
He
it?
just snap your fingers. Exactly.
Well,
Ooh, I
well-
don't trust crazy people.
that was a security guard doing his job. Like, listen, you shouldn't harass people doing their jobs unless maybe it makes more sense. If they're a police officer that is supposed to protect and serve. So here, let me see what you think of this one.
Oh man.
Eggs are on their way.
How about we do this? How about you let me ask the questions and then you answer?
All right. What's your sheriff's name out here? I'm gonna go see him. What's his name?
Gillespie.
Gillespie, where's the station at? After I get done here, I'm
There's
gonna go
about
talk to
7 of
him.
them.
You don't appreciate YouTube? Is that what you said? You're going on YouTube, okay?
YouTube.
You're going on YouTube too,
Fine.
okay? So you got a problem with that?
No, because nobody's going to watch it.
You're going on YouTube. I got hundreds of thousands of people.
Little do you know.
You want to stay
You're gonna be corrupt? Yeah, I do. I
Have
told
you
you
been
that.
arrested?
No, I haven't. I've never been in a slick of trouble in this
Have you been-
state.
never been
Slick in
cited?
trouble.
No, never. I got a
You've
clean
never had a
record.
ticket in your life.
Not in this town. Somebody says we're on record. You want to
Sounds
ask
like
if we're
Artie
on
Lang.
drugs? Is that what you want
He
to ask?
does.
Yeah.
Is it Artie Lang?
Oh my God. He's like, you know
Jones
what?
energy, you know? He's kind of charming. He's got something to him if he was like a comic, you know? But he's not.
I think he's just.
But he's not. He's just a lunatic.
He's just insane. Yes, he's on drugs. I think he's on drugs.
I mean,
Like Alex Jones should have been a comic. He would never made as much money as he maybe, you know.
I don't know. He might be a comics comic. Everyone be like, let's go see what this crazy song is.
Oh yeah.
He'll say anything.
When I lived in LA, there's plenty of those. Like,
Yeah?
oh
Yeah.
my God. There's this one guy, I can't remember his name, but he had I guess elephantitis in his hand.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
It was huge. Looked like an old school glove.
Did he club people with it?
But he would put his finger in his pocket because that's the only thing that would fit. And he would just tell jokes with it. But God, man, you just couldn't help but to watch him because I'm like, what is he going to say about it? It's like, I oughta. You know, he just.
I love a comics comic. When I lived in Austin, there was this comedian, Brian Holtzman, right? And this is when I started comedy 2 years ago. So this was when I was learning really a lot. And I watched him perform like 2 nights in a row. We drove to San Antonio because it's like an hour away. He crushed in Austin, right? And then you see same set, different crowd, right? I was on a date that time. And there were jokes that she's like, he's not funny. He just sounds like an old white man, just like being angry. And he fucking bombed. But I said that he murdered the night before, so that taught me a lot about comedy.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
And sometimes it's just, you know, some people just don't get you.
Yeah.
There's a guy, Richard Bain, rest in peace. He was that guy.
Yeah.
Now, every time he went up, comics rushed to go watch him.
Well, I would go watch The Phantom of Girl a little bit more. And Emily, I think you like this because it's against the cops, you know?
And they're mostly white, so
As a minority, I appreciate the balls of this guy.
No, I'm not.
I gotta hold you with 2 recorders because you're getting
Hold
weird.
me.
You're
Hold me with
getting
2 recorders?
spooky on
Are you
record.
serious?
You're going to jail. You keep it up, okay? Take the report. Phillips, you're a dirty fucking pig. You're going on YouTube, and when your kids get old enough, I'm gonna investigate them for drugs. You can tell your wife you're a dirty cunt, okay? Okay, buddy?
I thought he was going to
Oh
go
my
up there and
God.
hit him.
The balls of this guy.
Wow.
This dude, yeah.
He's like, you know what? I better go before I shoot this guy in the face.
I think
you saw
that's
this guy,
exactly what
you're
happened.
a dirty pig and you're going to jail. You know? Like,
Well,
I
he
mean,
lost it when he started talking about his kids, and I can imagine I would
Yeah.
not be very pleased
He's like,
about
I'm going to
that.
investigate your kids for drugs.
Wow, man, that's a lot.
Yeah,
you
he's
got.
a lot.
I got one ball. He got 2 huge,
I mean,
gigantic.
Gorilla balls.
Oh my God.
Full of methamphetamine.
You know, it's like if you're trolling the
Got some way to
power, does
arrest
this
me.
make him an
I just wanted to go
activist?
to the
I don't know.
hospital, get my hand x-rayed, right?
You wanted to file a police report.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's
he's
this
bothering
turning
the
into,
EMT.
bro? You guys are gonna get sued
EMT
here
cell, right?
next,
He's like,
okay?
he wanted a police
This
report.
guy keeps screwing around, threatening me. You gonna threaten me some more, Phillips?
I never
Huh? Keep it rolling.
I've never threatened.
Keep it rolling, Phillips. You're gonna go to jail. You keep it up. I didn't threaten your family. I said I'm gonna investigate them for drugs. Okay? The sheriff's gonna have his ugly mug in my camera next. That's because you guys fucked up, okay,
What's
Smith?
your address?
1128 Renee Lane. You can tell the sheriff it's because of you
How
and
do you spell
him.
Renee?
You can go fuck yourself. That's the only
Very
thing you can
nice.
do for me, okay?
That's very
Go
classy.
fuck
You know,
yourself.
you're a grown
Yeah,
Looks like an
I'm a big
episode
smoker and you're a
of Breaking
fucking
Bad.
pig.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's
Bye-bye,
like just some
loser.
insane person.
See you later, fathead.
Wow.
Sold Americans from an empty ticket machine.
Yeah. I mean, like,
This dude is insane.
Look at his
man.
American hat sitting over there. You
Yeah.
can see it with it. You know, he's
America.
but what I don't know if you said that I miss it.
Smoker and you're a
Oh, I love
fucking
this.
pig.
Like,
Oh, that's a
to
good one.
say to the
Yourself.
cops this line to me is insane. Like,
You're a grown.
Yeah, I'm a pig smoker and you're a fucking pig.
Okay.
Beat it.
Have a nice day.
Bye-bye, loser.
that
See
is
you later,
just
fat-
insane to me. Like, you know, you're a pig. I'm a pig smoker. You're a fucking pig. Like,
Wow.
Yeah, well,
Man.
that's very brave.
Yeah, I wouldn't see. That's why I couldn't have a gun.
yeah,
I would be like, I'll just shoot a toe out.
yeah.
Hit him in the foot.
Good thing he's
something.
Yeah,
not
but he was
Florida,
on
they'd stand their
record.
ground,
Did you
know?
see how many recorders he had and filming them? Like, this man's insane. He's just picking fights with cops.
Yeah, see,
Like, he's just a cop trap.
yeah. He's
So
just
maybe
trying to
he's-
get that lawsuit.
Yeah.
He trying to get some of that money.
I think so.
like
And
it.
in the meantime, he's going to make lots of views on YouTube. You
So
know,
either
it's a
way,
win-win for
he
him.
gonna get someone to snap, They're gonna beat him up. He gonna, I'm suing, get 100,000
Exactly.
or so.
Yeah.
Then he's like, on to the next county.
And you can buy a lot of meth with $100,000.
I mean, and American hats apparently. You know, I mean,
They
gas
give those
station-
away for free at rallies, duh.
Yeah, true.
So Mike, what does Mike Mello do when he's not making people laugh? What do you have what's your second passion to comedy?
Second passion, well, I do a lot of knitting,
Oh, okay, nice.
Crocheting,
crochet. No,
cross stitch.
man, like when I'm not doing comedy, honestly, like I take care of my pops. You know, I kind of.
Does your dad like your comedy?
He don't remember my comedy.
Oh, okay.
But-
My bad. Oh, it
Now, I'm
took
gonna
a
tell you a
turn.
story. The first
Oh,
time,
shit.
no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm totally kidding. No, he did. So the first time my parents saw me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone sat him in the front row. I'm like, why would you do that? Dead ass front row.
Yeah.
And I'm open. You know, I'm.
So you had to look right in their eyes
I'm
while you said
hosting.
your jokes.
And my joke was about going to jail, except for the dude hit me over the head, and I'm like jerking him off, and I'm on my knees in front of my parents, jerking off a microphone. I'm just over there like my mom's like dying laughing, like my dad's like this, just looking at me, and I'm like, oh my God, this is the worst.
But you did it. You
Oh
committed.
God, yeah, I
Because you've been
did.
to jail. There's nothing to fear.
I know my dad's like, but then he didn't. He had his arms folded the whole time.
Oh, no.
And so after the show, my mom's like, give me a hug and a kiss.
You did a great job.
And my dad
sucker.
comes up to me, he's like, you know what you should have said was. And I was like, oh my God. You think you can write my jokes now? Like, he's over there like, yeah, that's good, but I think I can do better, you know?
You know, he's probably why you're funny.
No,
That's what
absolutely.
I heard.
Everyone in my family is hilarious to a point.
Doesn't that suck? I'm from a big family and they're funny too. And I hate that because there's some of them that are much funnier than me. And I honestly hate that. Like, but also when I'm around them, they make me funnier. Do you know
Yeah,
what I
no,
mean?
yeah,
Like I
absolutely.
feed off of that energy and it'll just, I had a friend the other day I visited back home and, my friend introduced me to her family as her loudest friend. And I was like, I feel like that is such a compliment. Like, I am very loud. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm hella loud. There's
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
nothing wrong
Absolutely
with that.
not. Like, I mean, when people describe me as their loudest friend, I just say that they're, culturally insensitive. Like, hey, how do you know,
I can't say that, though. Like, my people are very quiet.
Because, like Andy pointed that out to me, right? Like we try to think of culture about all these other things, right? But what about the manner in which we speak with each other, right? Like, like I don't know what other Hispanic people are like, right? But I'm very matter of factly. And I think sometimes that that passion can almost be misunderstood as almost rudeness when it's nothing from it. It's almost like I want the unfettered version of like the real, the authentic, right? Because maybe that comes culturally, but it can come off as a little bit harsh or rough around the edges. And I never thought about this, right? Like as well, maybe in a world where we're very trying to like be very conscious of it, do we have a blind spot of between like cultural, like I don't even know what you would call it, right? Like styles, like methods,
I don't know. I mean, it has a lot to do with where you grew up and
communication stuff.
Absolutely. But Americans, I think we share a lot of common threads that, maybe make it a lot more different for an immigrant, that's figuring out our social nuances and the way we joke and everything. It's so different than other places,
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah, like it's just funny how you go from just city to city, like Raleigh. You're definitely in Raleigh. Cary's got a vibe.
Yeah, for sure.
Durham's got a vibe.
For sure.
So it's like just thinking that on that little small scale, thinking that on a bigger scale.
Absolutely. Well, and America is a huge place, especially compared to a lot of other countries. We don't think about it like a lot of places are as big as Texas to us. You know what I mean? Like America is big. We are all very different in a lot of different places, but and even harder than for an immigrant to figure out how to fit in with all our culture. You know what I mean? We kind of got to adapt our own. So, yeah. Anyway,
Absolutely.
where were you?
We are the world.
Yeah, we are the world.
We are
I mean,
Well,
we're from that generation. So.
No, yeah, I know, right?
I watched it. You watched it. We all bought the album. And we thought we were saving the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would pick a artist and be like, "Ooh, I want this part," you know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
either George Michael or.
No, what we gotta do? You know what we gotta do? We gotta like have you back on a show, and you know, Emily relate to this. We like to like the Manly Girly shows usually, you know, where we start, right? We're like a lot of times we don't know people, right? It's just like okay, getting to know you, and then through what you tell us, right? Then we have a second show, which is really Casa the Thinking, where it's like, which much more we answer the questions that don't have answers, right? Like, what is consciousness, right? What are the rules with ghosts, you know? Like, what are aliens, right? And stuff is like, you know, what is consciousness, right?
Yeah.
But maybe like, you know, what is we just recorded one. What is grit, right? You have to come back on one where it's like, you know, what is, you know, like survival, right? Like, or something like that, you know, what is,
Okay, yeah,
what
I'm
is
down for that.
trust, right? Because somebody broke your trust, right? Something that, you know, like, and it's
Actually, we have that one. Do snitches get stitches? Or do
Oh,
snitches?
yeah.
Or does, you know what the Gen Z is saying now, right?
What's that?
Snitches get riches.
Yeah, now
Have you heard
Yeah.
that?
absolutely. I mean,
everybody's
Oh, do you
a
believe?
fucking narc
Do you
nowadays.
prescribe to that particular?
I mean, I've seen it happen. I would never snitch,
No,
but
none of us.
I would never.
Never. Well, I mean,
I always say like I would never snitch, but if you tickle the bottom of my feet, I'll tell you exactly who did
the
it.
thing of it is,
Like that motherfucker right there. He did it. But
yeah, we
you've
got
got
to
you're
on
from
your
a
feet right
you're
now.
from a big family, so I understand that because big families we have this this attitude of don't tell mom. You can't tell mom because if you tell mom, you can't hang out with us anymore. You're not going to play tag. You are not going to play Nintendo. You are not going to get to hang out with us anymore if you snitch.
yeah, it was funny because my brothers used to set me up like when they watch football and sit me up in the room like this is how they should have hit him and hit me too hard and I start crying I'm like shh, you gonna get us in trouble. Stop crying. I'm like you're the one that hurt me, you know. But they're like shh, chill, man, chill. Act like you sleep, you know. Like,
And you did it every time.
I did too, man. Cause I didn't want to get them in trouble. It's like if you get caught crying, we're in trouble.
My sister,
get
she
you in
used to hit me, and she would wait until I would fall asleep. Like we shared a
evil.
bedroom, right? She was the only other girl, so we shared a bedroom, and she would wait until I fell asleep, and then she would run over and she would punch me, right? And I would wake up and I'd be like, Mom, she's hitting me. And my mom would be like, you just had a bad dream because it would happen all the time. For years, she
that's
did
torture. I
this
think
to
they're
me.
using that at,
You want to talk about like
Guantanamo.
some insane stuff. And then
That
as
is
adults,
hilarious.
and then as adults, she told me she was hitting me. And I was like, I knew she was hitting me. I knew it.
He's like, all that
She was
therapy
so
for nothing.
wicked.
You mean I
No,
wasted?
are you kidding me? No, we're best friends.
Yeah.
But I would have done anything to just hang out with her. I just liked her so much and thought she was so cool. And I'm just like, I just want to hang out with you.
You know what? That's actually the one we should do. We should do siblings, right? Coming
Ooh, I
from
love
large
that.
families. You know, you come
Hell
from a
yeah.
large family.
He's
I'm
got
one
a
of
bunch.
5, you know, like, so, you know, comparatively, I'm like, I always thought that was a lot, but
No,
7
it is
and
a
8.
lot. I mean,
You know,
In this day
anything
and age.
over 1.
well, I was raised Catholic, you know, so, you know.
Me too.
Yeah.
Catholic.
Oh, there
My,
you
my
go.
mother was a recovered Catholic.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. Well, Mike, we've loved having you, man. Where can people find you if they want to look for you? You know,
Mike Mello Miller on Instagram, or just plain Michael Miller, aka Mello, on Facebook. That's it. You can see me at Goodnights,
hell yeah.
Improv, or convenience store near you.
perfect. Well, we'll definitely come out to see you. Thanks again, Mike. We
Thank you
can't
for
wait to have
having
you
me.
back on.
Thank you for being here.
This has been Manly Girly. Thank you. Bye.
Oh, so fun. Thank you.
Yeah. No, thank you.